Hey guys, Terry here. Hey, I found this fantastic new card making pattern. It's from a YouTuber. Her YouTube is called Call Me Crafty Owl. I think her name is, um, it's not Alicia, it's Alisa. And I just think it's the cutest set. So the idea, now this one, so what she's got is each month she's got a different sketch, and then she's got all of the steps on how to cut the cardstock and the pattern paper. But the idea is she comes up with something the beginning of the month, and then she shows you on the first day what all you're going to need to pull together out of your stash, which I love because you're using stuff in your stash. And then the second day she shows actually her making it, but if you just download the instructions you can follow it. So that's what I did. I made this set here. I used the bumblebee pattern and it makes 9 cards. So I've got that one. I tried to do a variety of sentiments. This one says the world needs more of what you are. And I just love this. This was a pack of designer series paper that I had. I know you have the strength to get through this. So it made 9 cards and just a variety, and I just love the idea of this. We all have these packs of designer paper, so that's what I'm going to do in this video. Is I'm going to use a different set of designer paper. The first time I made it, I used this one. We buy these packs of paper because we love them, and then I think we just need some inspiration on using them to make a stack of cards. So I love this idea of hers. The other thing she's doing is when you make it, you tag it either on your video or on Instagram, and then she has a video where she's pulled together what everybody made. So what a cute card making community. So I just love this idea. It's called SheetLoad of Cards, which is really creative, and I'm going to make the next set here. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to use this peacock paper, and you know, you only use a few pieces of it, so it's not like you're going through the whole stash, but at least you're starting to use it. So they're all beautiful papers. This navy paper I bought a long time ago, and I bought the die. So it's kind of inspiring me to use the stuff that I've bought. So I'm going to cut this per the instructions on the sheet. She has excellent instructions. She tells you what you need, and then she labels them. So that is very easy to follow. And then I've got my card bases. You just cut an 8.5 sheet of paper in half, and then I use my score pal to score the paper. So you need 9 of those. And then I think for my sentiments I'm going to use these stamps. I've got Beautiful Friendship, and the sentiment, if you notice, is this little 2-inch square. So I went through my stamps that I recently bought, and I like this one because it's a nice little square. And then this one comes from Queen Anne's Lace. And then I use this one, The World Needs More of what you are, and that's Walk in the Woods. So I've got my Misty ready with those stamps, and I use VersaFine ink, and I use my stamp chamois to clean the stamps. And I'm ready to cut my paper. So let me come back after I've cut all my stacks of paper and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I have pulled the cardstock. I decided to use this navy instead of the peacock. The peacock paper was kind of just foil in 3 different colors. It wasn't what I was thinking it was. So I decided on the navy. I love these 3 prints. So on the sheet here it says to take out 3, the top of the first sheet here. Take 3 12 by 12s, 6 solid cardstocks, which 5 of them are going to be the matte color, and then the other one is the white for this part. So I have those, and then I have my card bases. So let me chop these up, and I'm going to follow the instructions on the second sheet, and it's got on here exactly how you cut them. Okay, I got the cardstock cut, and my advice would be to pay attention to, like when it says 5.125, that is 5 and an eighth. The first time I did it, I cut it at 5 1/4. I don't know why, I just saw the 0.125 and quarter stuck in my head. So really pay attention to these when you're cutting them. And then same with these sheets here. This down here gets a little bit different where it's these ones here are 5 1/8 by 2.75 to 2 3/4, and this is 3 1/2. So just pay attention as you're cutting. Look at each little segment that she describes there. But the 5 1/4 was where I messed up the first time I did it. So now that I have my cardstock cut, I want to lay it out into, notice you did 3 of each of the colors. So what's going to happen is you're going to lay these out so that you've got them different on each. I'm not describing it very well. You want to lay it out so that you pair up each of these colors here. Let me put it this way. You want to do a stack with each of the 3 colors. In other words, take your big squares and lay them out, and then take your next stack of size. Because what you want to do is you don't want to have this paired up with itself. So then put these on a different pattern, like put one there and one there, and then another one will go there. So you just want to make sure that you have these, you know, on the, not on themselves. So like the polka dot, don't pair it up with the polka dot. Put it on same with the little squares. So here I've got a stack where I've got all 3 different colors. So I've got the big square, the medium square, and the small square. So that's going to be together on a card. And you're going to mat these, and then you're going to put them on the card base. So that'll be my next step. But you do want to kind of make these stacks be one of each color. So like this one here just needs this one. Does that make sense? So before you start gluing, just get those stacks all arranged, because what will happen is at the end you might end up with, you know, 2 of the same color. So just distribute those for all 9 cards. So let me do that, and I will be back to glue them together. Okay, so I got all my stacks divvied up so that there was a unique pattern in each stack. So now what I'm doing is pairing that up with the large blue, the medium blue, smaller blue, and then 1 white for the sentiment. So I've just got these stacked together here, 1 of each of the blues. One of each of the blues, this, and then I'm just stacking those so that they're the set that I'm making. And then the other thing that I'm doing is she's got a little tag or a little fishtail on the end of there. So I am using my punch here. Let me turn the light up. I am using the punch, just this corner punch, and that is lining up the edges, and then that's making my little tag. So those are, I'll punch each of those and put those on each card, and then they're ready for assembling. Now I could stamp the sentiments, but I'm going to wait till I have that matted on the dark blue cardstock. So I'll come back when I'm doing the stamping. Okay, so I have each of these stacks ready to assemble, and I want to point out that I don't know if you noticed on the card design, let me show you the picture. On the card design, this layer does not have a color of the mat showing on that last little side there. So it doesn't have that on this side, and it doesn't have it on this side, which means that when you go to glue this down, you're going to line this up with this edge over here. Okay, so I'm going to glue that down, and I'm going to make sure there's a 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch around that edge, but on this side it's just going to be lined up with the end. And same with this piece. The measurements make it be butted up on the one end, and I think it makes for a really pretty look. So just glue them like that, and then this one is the one that the sentiment's going to go on. Now this does have the mat all the way around it. Well, no, I'm sorry, no, it goes all the way at the end. I had to look at the picture again. So reference her measurements and her picture. So here it is lined up with this end and lined up with this end. So in other words, there's just a little border on each side. So this part touches the top, this part touches. So the first set that I didn't even notice that. I overlapped them in the middle because the flag goes over it. And I like that look. I like the black on there. I think I like the black with the white card. So it just depends on your design. You can change it up and make it be how you want to have it. And then the little flag just gets put across the middle there. So I'm going to glue these down and then stamp those sentiments. So pay close attention when you're flipping these papers around, that you keep it on the pattern that you lined up for that card. It's easy to get distracted, but you're just going to line this up with the 1/8 of an inch around it, and then line up that end. And that's why I like the liquid glue, because you can scoot it around. You got time to scoot it around. And then the side that does not have the 1/8 of an inch gets lined up on this side of the card. And I'm just making sure there's an even amount at the top and the bottom. And then we'll do the next size blue. See what I mean? When you flip your paper over to put the glue on it, it's easy to forget which side you were working on. Just line it up with the nice border around, and then this end goes on this side. And I think that if you glued it down wrong, nobody would notice. You could be your own worst critic. The one thing I'll tell you is it really makes you love these pattern papers. I mean, if you pick 3 that just kind of complement each other. So this one I'll put on here. I think you could have stamped the sentiments ahead of time before you put it on here. I just decided to glue this down. Now I'm gonna stamp the sentiment before I put this on the card, because I don't want this to be too bumpy when I stamp it. And then I'm gonna put the tag piece on, and you know, I use that square punch to punch the tail on these. If you have the tag punch, I just don't have a lot of punches. I have a brother scan and cut, so I try to keep my punches to a minimum. But I love this one. I love this to put this on the corner of photos. So I hung on to that punch. But that's how that's going to go. So once I have all these together, I'm going to stamp the sentiments. Okay, one of the final steps here, I am using my Misty to stamp the sentiments. And I did 3 different sentiments, so I did 3 of each. So I'm picking up the stamp with my Misty, making sure it looks lined up, and then I like to use VersaFine black onyx ink. It is just so vivid. It's amazing how much it looks. Just does an excellent stamp. And then if I do miss a spot, I've got my Misty so I can re-ink it. But I've done so I do suggest that you maybe stamp the sentiments before you put them together, because now I'm going to have to go back and make sure I've got the right pattern on the right card, because I've got my cards assembled. So, but yeah, I did 3 of each one, and then my last step will be to attach these on the fronts of the cards. But I love this. I can't say enough about this stamp sets, or the this method of making cards. I think it's so it's unique, it's fun. I love that it's interactive, that everybody's going to use the same hashtag and see what we're making and just get lots of ideas from each other. So I'll have links on my website to her video, and then she's got links to all the people that are participating on there, and then she's also got a lot more tips than what I gave you. So I think it'll be fun to play along each month and you know, use up your stash. So that'll be what the final cards look like. So thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and like I said, I'll have all the useful links on my website. Thanks.